Shalom and good evening from Jerusalem, Jane. I just sat down in my couch. So I want to speak a little bit. I didn't make a video update yesterday and I also didn't do it today. So I just want to kind of let you know why. And this is not going to be so much as a news update as speaking about other things. But I know for all of you wonderful people who support Israel around the world, you have been crying, you have been praying, you have been holding Israel rallies, and we love you and we cherish you and we are so grateful for you. But you know what I mean if I say you can turn it off and on. You have your everyday life wherever you are sitting around the world, and then when you choose, you can check your phone, you can watch the news, and then you go have your lunch and your dinner, and you take your kids to soccer practice, and you go, I don't know, whatever you do. Here in Israel, everything changed on October 7, and this nation is forever changed, and every single person is affected and traumatized. For me, to the best of my abilities, I've been trying to keep all of you updated on all my social media. And again, I am so restricted on Facebook. If you only follow me on Facebook, you are completely missing out. Please go to your app store and download the app Telegram, where I'm sharing up to the minute updates. I also have an Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. On all my social media, you find me on the Jerusalem Jane, except I have a big page on Facebook called Israel One Nation. That's actually how everything started. So to the best of my ability, with the video updates that I have done myself, with all of the information that I gather and that I share with you, it has literally been non-stop now almost for 3 weeks. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. You know, the only time where there's a little peace is the few hours when you sleep, but then you wake up again and everything is stirring inside of you. Then you fell asleep, and then every morning when I wake up, I'm like, here we go again. You're back into the war situation. You have to report, you have to share all day, and it's tough. It's unless you're here, you will never understand. So yesterday I needed a break. People have told me you need to take better care of yourself. You're still alone. I'm still single. I'm doing everything by myself, the cooking, the cleaning, the hauling home, sharing the news, only living by donations from people around the world. And that's the way it has been for nearly 10 years. So it's tough, I'm not gonna lie. So yesterday just happened to be my mother's birthday, my beloved mother in Denmark. So I just took that day to just breathe. I needed to breathe a little bit. So there was no video update, but it was my mother's birthday. My mom is amazing. Her name is Hannah. She gave the love for Israel and the chosen people into my heart. She got it from her parents, godly parents who prayed for Israel every day. They've never made it here to Israel, unfortunately. My grandfather's sister, Anna, and her husband saved, they could have been named righteous among the nations. They were saving several Jewish people during the Second World War on their big farm in Denmark. So it was I needed to breathe a little bit, and it was my mom's birthday. But I was sharing on all my social media, I was saying happy birthday to my mom. So I want to show you what I woke up to this morning. And this was on my private Facebook. I have shared several photos of my mom, photos of me and my mom together. Among them was one of them from this year. My mom visited me during Passover, the holiday, and my birthday. We were at Yad Vashem. Let me show you this. It was to commemorate 50 years since the Warsaw ghetto uprising. So my mom and I was down there. I posted a video of my mom standing, and then, oops, I'm sorry. And then I want to show you, if you can read the comment down here, what someone posted, long live Hitler, to a photo of my mom standing at Yad Vashem, long live Hitler. It is just, you would think by now that I would get used to the hate towards Israel, towards the Jewish people, towards me, and now towards my mom, a photo of my mom. It's just unbelievable. I just sat there. I was like, wow, wow. So today I had a doctor's appointment. I had a treatment last Thursday. It didn't go according to plan, so I had to go back today. It was painful, so that's how I spent my afternoon. So I just came home now. It's so hot, it's 32 Celsius, but I have been sharing, especially on my Israel One Nation Facebook page and on my Telegram. But what I want to say is that when my grandparents was alive, my mom used to take them to help them to go to the doctor's office, to do this and to do this. So today, as I'm sitting waiting in the doctor's clinic, I can only assume it was a father and a son. It is old man who was holding on to the belts of his son, walking behind him slowly. A religious man and a religious son with the beard and the white shirt and the kippah and everything. And they walked past me into the nurse. And like I said, that's how my mom used to do it. But what I noticed was that right here on the hip on this religious man, there was a gun. There was a gun. And that just kind of brought me back to reality of the situation here in Israel, that every single gun licensed person is wearing a weapon right now because we are in a state of war. Another thing that really hit me today, I want to show you a beautiful young boy. His name is Eris Calderon. He's turning 12 years old. Yesterday was my mother's birthday. Today, this beautiful boy, handsome young man, is turning 12 years old. But he's not with his family having a birthday party here in Israel. No, on the contrary, he is sitting many meters down inside the Gaza Strip, being held hostage by the evil ISIS demonic Hamas terrorists. He was kidnapped. His grandmother were killed. He had a cousin named Noah. She was 12 and she was autistic. She was murdered and he was kidnapped. And he's now celebrating his 12th birthday underground inside the Gaza Strip. So it just really touched me today. I saw an interview with her mom, his mom, and she says, you know, I haven't even started grieving over my mom who was murdered, and you know, my niece and other people that I know, because right now my focus is on my son. He's turning 12 and he's sitting kidnapped inside the Gaza Strip. Here we are almost 3 weeks later, and more details are coming out of what happened on that day of horror. Today the IDF released an interview with one of the soldiers who spoke about that day, and he was saying that he was in one of these kibbutzim down in the south, and you know, it's not just that they killed people, they used hand grenades, explosive devices, blew people's houses up, they burned people's houses, people were hiding in their bomb shelters, and they just, you know, they set the house on fire. And that's how they found people, from one house to another house. And then they walked into the little courtyard, and there was this house, and a woman was lying on the ground. And as they get closer, he can see that this woman is embracing her baby, between 1 and 2 years old, and that baby was decapitated. And he said, I was the soldier I carried that baby out. So every day there are still more stories coming out. The army is releasing more testimony. So this one came out, another story from that horrendous day. The Israeli military also released today that they have notified 224 families that your loved one are held captives inside the Gaza Strip. We cannot even imagine what they're going through. And I want to say that those 224 is not including the 4 women that already was been released. 2 of them were elderly lady. You can rest assured they were handpicked by Hamas. We give them a new nightgown, and they get the food, and they can say they get the feminine products and shampoo, and we were treating good, but what about the rest? And we don't even know if that's what they were forced to say. Hamas is blatantly violating human rights, basic laws, not allowing the Red Cross to come in and to examine these and why is it that the rest of the world is more focused on and screaming about the innocent civilians in Gaza who needs aid, and the hospital who's running out of power? It's not true. Every time they're saying we're out of power, then you see another photo from inside the hospitals and they have lights and power. Why is it that the people around the world, the governments around the world, the European Union, and all of them, why are they not pushing more for having these people released? These are innocent civilians who are sitting inside the Gaza Strip, who was brutally, many of them was beaten. Some of the women's in there, they were raped, and they are now in a dungeon in this tunnel system that Hamas has built over the years and years and years, and they have used hundreds of millions of dollars to build all of that tunnel system and the weapons and the storage facilities. It's like a whole city they have beneath, and that's where they are hiding as the cowards they are. So the IDF, they are bombing away inside the Gaza Strip. They are taking out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of terror targets. Today they took out a launch pad that was next to was it a school and a mosque, and of course that's what Hamas do. You know, in one way they don't care about the civilians, but there are so many civilians also in the Gaza Strip who is supporting Hamas, who every time a rocket is flying in, and we had many rockets flying in today, we had many rockets flying in yesterday. In Petah Tikva there was a direct hit at a house yesterday. I think it was 2 or 3 people who were injured. Today I posted another video of a family who, when the red alert came, they had to run out of their apartment carrying their 2 babies down the stairs, and they barely make it down the stairs, and there's a rocket that hit in their house. Could you imagine for a second if Israel didn't have the Iron Dome defense missile system? How many people who would have been murdered? So while Hamas is, or they're screaming inside the Gaza Strip, we don't have food, we don't have this, we don't have this, well, they for sure have rockets. They are not running out of rockets to continue to fire into Israel. So Israel has every right to defend herself. And how ridiculous and ludicrous is it for all of those imbeciles who are screaming about ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. So they come into Israel, they murder more than 1,400 people, they injure more than 5,000, they are burning people alive, they're cutting heads of babies, raping the women, beating the Holocaust survivors, they drag them into the Gaza Strip. So Israel bomb a little bit, and now we need a ceasefire, so all of these ISIS, Hamas terrorists can just continue to live in their bunkers and continue to be that threat on Israel's doorstep while they still have hostages. It's ridiculous. How dumb can you be? Israel has no choice but to say this is a proxy of Iran. Iran might be far away, but they are close by because they have their proxies in the Gaza Strip. They have their proxies with Hezbollah in the north. And by the way, the leader of Islamic Jihad and one of the top leaders of Hamas met with the leader of Hezbollah. You better believe they were coordinating things about what's going to come the minute that Israel is going to go into the Gaza Strip, which is something that's still going to happen. The Prime Minister was out in a speech yesterday, and that's what he says. We are preparing, and there are so many rumors about, Israel is not going in because the Americans needs to get more equipment and more troops and blah, blah, blah. And so Israel's Prime Minister and also the spokesperson for the IDF was out saying, we are going to go in, we decide the day, we decide the time. So just a little update from Jerusalem Jane here. So continue to pray for Israel for such a time as this. There's not one family, there is not one family that is not affected about what happened on October 7 and crying and burying their loved ones, or their loved one is still missing. There's still people missing. They're still finding bodies when they are searching the houses again. It's absolutely devastating. So for such a time as this, we stand with Israel. God bless you, everybody. Bye.